feeling. I totally understand it. I understand it. But you need to control yourself. There's only one of me. Happy Thursday, everyone. So from coast to coast, our schools are toast. Yes, it's time once again for...
Our education system sucks.
It's funny because it's spelled incorrectly. Have you heard about equitable grading? I hadn't because I'm not allowed within 100 feet of a school. They still refuse to believe I really do drive an ice cream truck. But school districts around the country are buying into this crap, even though many teachers aren't. They think it's as shady as a gynecologist who works out of his garage. So what's equitable grading, really? Well, the grading scale begins at 50% instead of 0. That means if you deserve a D, that extra leg up makes it a B or a C. Picture Joy Behar. I'm sorry. But she's stepping on a scale, right? Where 0 is actually 150 pounds. Voila, she only weighs 160 instead of 310. That's equity. Meanwhile, homework is played down and kids are given multiple chances to complete the same assignments and the same tests. Because if at first you don't succeed, you're probably a dumbass. Grading for behavior is now banned, which includes attendance. The good news, in Chicago schools, you can't stab a teacher without a permission slip. So think about what that tells a kid. It used to be half the battle showing up, but now you don't even have to do that. And when there's no deadlines for assignments, who cares if you don't do it? You create a crazy, bizarro world where goofing off's rewarded, efforts punished, and Don Lemon's still employed. Good luck finding hireable people in a few years. For qualified applicants, you're going to have to look elsewhere, like death row. Proponents of this trash argue that traditional grading methods favor kids with a stable home life. In other words, it's just more white privilege. But with this kind of effed up education, good luck learning anything. But at some schools, that might be a good thing. A Vermont elementary school will no longer use the words male or female when teaching 5th grade students sex ed. In a letter to parents, officials at Founders Memorial explained that the changes reflect a desire to use more gender-inclusive language. It will now use person-first language. So boy or male will be replaced by person who produces sperm. And girl or female will be replaced by person who produces eggs, which in Vermont used to be known as a farmer. But you know, why stop there, huh? Maybe instead of calling them school administrators, let's call them who produce. Of course, a person who produces sperm is male, and I'd show you, but this furniture isn't Scotch guarded. And I don't know what you mean. And a person who produces eggs is female. That's why we use the terms male and female. You simplify language with labels so you don't need to include their characteristics every time. I mean, imagine if you applied this moronic logic to other words. Instead of saying car, you have to say large metal object that goes vroom vroom. Instead of gun, we say scary thing that goes bang bang. And instead of President Biden, we say old man who goes boom boom behind a tree. Everything will become moronic word salad, which I guess is why Kamala supports it.
I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past, but the future.
You know, that's some bad weed. Generally, when people get high, they actually have some interesting thoughts. Not her. Speaking of gibbering idiots, in Washington State, a school district plans to cut music classes because they feel it promotes white supremacy culture and significant institutional violence. Yeah, it's the Dave Matthews Band that's causing all those drive-bys in Chicago. It's as if black kids are getting beaten with oboes and tubas. A school board member claims kids need to miss core instruction to attend music classes, which is just another sign of inequity dreamed up by the white man. Listen to this crud.
We're a school district that lives and is an entrenched and is surrounded by white supremacy culture. There's nothing about string or wind instrumental music that is intrinsically white supremacist. However, the ways in which it is and the ways in which all of our institutions, not just schools, but local government, state government, our churches, our neighborhoods, inculcate and allow white supremacy culture to continue to be propagated and cause significant institutional violence are things that we have to think about carefully as a community.
What the did you just say? Seriously. My God. Everything inculcates white supremacy. Talk about a wind instrument. How about I stick a flute up your ass, you sick bastard? Yes. Wait, sorry, that's institutional violence with a wind instrument. So whenever you think education has reached peak absurdity, something else comes along and says, hold my eraser. That's for positive habits like working hard or showing up and being on time. That might as well be an internship with the Ku Klux Klan, because it's just more white privilege, they'll say. Even though it's truly racist to think minority kids need those kind of excuses. I feel for parents, both black and white. How do you navigate this crap? But hey, who needs musical instruments when it's too much fun watching mom and dad getting played? Let's welcome tonight's guest. Unlike Alec Baldwin, she intentionally shoots her targets. Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. He looks like your mom's old boyfriend before he went to jail. Comedian Jim Florentine. He's the stand-up whose wardrobe makes you throw up. Host of Fox Across America, or FA.
Hey, girl.
Jimmy Fallon. And lastly, she's thinner than Rudy Giuliani's comb-over. Fox News contributor, Kat Timpf. Jimmy, I believe I've heard that you do have children, or one child, right?
One child.
Yes. Is that child in school?
My son, Lincoln.
Lincoln, yes.
He's 14. Obviously, Lincoln is controversial with the left, though, so now he goes by his middle name, OJ. But, hey, girl. Hey, girl. Good to see you.
Yeah.
This is the stupidest thing you've ever seen as a parent, because we're prioritizing everything but what kids need. Like, right now, 1 in 3 kids in this country can read at a grade level.
Right.
2 in 3 can't. Do you understand?
Yes.
And we're focusing on all this anatomy stuff. Like, we're so focused on children's anatomy. I feel like I bought a used laptop from Jared Fogle. You know what I mean? It's disgusting. But think of it on a superficial level for a second. Nobody wants to hear Motley Crue sing "Smoking in the Person Who Produces Sperm Room."
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Do you want to do that? You want to go to a strip club and hear Motley Crue sing "Person who produces eggs, produces eggs, produces eggs," which would be girls, girls, girls?
That's great.
You notice how me and Florentine got all the strip club references right away? Good to see you, brother. But it's dumb. And anybody who says music is a form of white supremacy has never been on a dance floor.
Yeah.
Okay?
Very good. He's right, you know. He's right. Katie, it's not just that we're not just seeing a perversion of biology, we're seeing a perversion of language.
Yeah.
That they actually have to start taking, like they got it backwards. The word, there's a word and a definition, right, of the word, but now the definition is the word, right? It makes no sense.
Well, I'm just an egg basket walking around, so I don't know how you expect me to know anything about this.
I like that. Can I call you egg basket on the
Basically
5?
a chicken over here.
I probably would get fired, wouldn't I?
Yeah. Not if I approve it. I mean, that's the right thing to do now.
What if I send it to you on a text?
Don't do that. Okay. That's a bad idea.
All right,
Don't
egg
put anything in
basket.
writing. Yeah, no, you're totally right. Like, all of our language is based on gender. So male and female, our language is completely dependent on those terms. It's built around this. So when you start destroying the language because you're just deconstructing gender, you destroy everything. And when it comes to these schools, the very people who are in the schools that were that 77% of the kids in high school can only read at a kindergarten level, they're the ones implementing these policies because they're lazy and bad at their jobs, and they don't want to be judged on the future of these kids. So they just say, we will give you 50% so we don't actually have to solve the problem.
Right.
And it's really wrong because they say that they're setting kids up for a better future, and they're really not. And the worst thing for them to do is to tell kids that the reason why you're not succeeding in school and the only reason why you can read at a 2-year-old level when you are 16 years old is because of your skin color and because white people are keeping you down.
Yeah.
It's really wrong to do that.
And it's in every facet of society, so there's no escaping from it.
Exactly.
Whereas before, the message would be, you can do anything. Now it's, you can't do anything because of whitey. Jim, you look like the kind of parent that shows up at school board meetings with a gun. Have you been to a school board meeting?
Yeah, I have.
I knew it.
Yeah, I have. And then, the parent-teacher thing and all that. Yeah, look, my kid's in school, and, they say it's an advantage if you come from, parents, two-home parents, are nice,
Yeah.
Is it really an advantage? I mean, okay, so what if you have stupid parents? But you come from a stable home.
Right.
Like, my kid's got a stable home, but he's got a stupid parent.
Yeah.
So when he asked me, Dad, can you help me with my homework? I go,
He was less than discreet with his little cheat sheet. Their president sings karaoke, while ours looks like he's going to croaky. Photo snapped during a press conference Wednesday shows President Biden had advanced knowledge of an LA Times reporter's question. Turns out the only chance of a gotcha moment is when Biden grabs a child. It says, quote, how are you squaring your domestic priorities, like reshoring semiconductors manufacturing with alliance-based foreign policy? And on the reverse, it said, if found, return me to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Yes. Now, the LA Times says they didn't submit anything beforehand. Right. And the White House is denying it because they would. The question, however, the reporter asked wasn't word for word, but it was similar. Anyway, it all happened at a joint press conference with South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. Yep, I think I said that right. It turns out he has a beautiful set of pipes.
A long, long time ago, I can still remember how that music used to make me smile. Something touched me deep inside the day the music died.
Something touched him deep inside. Better check. It might be Joe's finger. Don McLean must be spinning in his grave, and he's alive. But hey, their president sings while our president soils. But how refreshing to see a prez show signs of life, unlike our ancient commander-in-chief who could barely fog a mirror. But we should get over Joe's age, according to the Daily Beast. An op-ed argues his age has been an asset so far. His experience has enabled him to advance an ambitious domestic agenda and revitalize the world's most important alliance in ways many thought would be impossible. Man, that writer is so far up Joe's ass, I bet he can taste the hair plugs. He's probably covered in Haagen-Dazs. And if we're talking age, Biden once ran a campaign saying his opponent was too old to serve. That opponent was 63. During his 72 Senate race, Biden said Cale Boggs, quote, lost that old twinkle in his eye he used to have. Again, said it about a 63-year-old. Meanwhile, our prez replaced a twinkle in the eye with a twinkle down his thigh. Biden's had a facelift and a hair transplant, and he still looks like the guy who drank from the wrong grail in an Indiana Jones. What's Joe think of all this?
Oh, yeah, man, that guy lost his twinkle. He lost his twinkle. I didn't lose my twinkle. No, I still got it. Twinkle, twinkle, little Joe. Everybody thinks you're old. Well, you got that twinkle in your eye. As old as I am, then fly. And I never lose that twinkle, even when I wake up in the night to go tinkle.
All right, whose fault is this, Katie? Is it Joe's fault, or is it just the media who are just like, they'll do anything? It's such a glaring difference from how they treat Trump.
Which part of
Yeah.
this specifically? I don't necessarily think it's that he's old. I think it's that he has a problem. I mean, my grandmother-in-law is 101, and she could do a much better job than
Really?
Joe Biden.
101?
Does. 101, and she is
Wow.
more cognitively available than that. But
you in the will?
I think it is the media's fault. I don't know. I think it's the
Worth
media's
asking.
fault.
Anyways, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the eggs are in the will because they're very valuable.
Eggs.
The egg basket is in the will. No, I was just saying that I think this is the media's fault. I mean, the White House abuses them over and over again. You asked about Trump. You know, President Trump addressed the media every single day, and all they did was ask him stupid questions about themselves rather than asking questions that would benefit the country. Here you have the White House holding a press conference like once a year, and they take 2 questions that are clearly being coordinated. Maybe not exact wording, but the topics are obviously given ahead of time, so he knows exactly what he's going to say, reading off a cue card. They should demand better than that. And when they claim that they're there to benefit the American people, to give them information, they're not doing that. They're just doing what the White House tells them to do.
Because they're happy, that's their guy, right, Jim? It's like, why should they push him, you know? They don't even set him up for anything. They just like play along.
During the lockdown, the beginning of lockdown, those Trump press conferences for like 2 hours, that was must-see TV.
Yes,
that was better than a comedy Netflix special. And that was all off the cuff. There was no one. He didn't know what was coming at him. He's fighting with everybody.
Yeah.
And now he's got a card to look at and know. You know, look, give Biden credit though. At least he remembered to look at the card. So you got to give him that.
Yes.
If they could just give him a cheat sheet to go upstairs.
Yeah.
You know,
He never knows where he's going.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too. I was thinking about Trump and like how he would actually. Instead of walking away from the press, he would just he'd be walking at them. And you just go, here it comes. And he would enjoy it. And it was fun. And because he knew that he was smarter than they were, and he was more engaged in the world than they were. And so he said, like, these people aren't going to get the best of me. So these guys just handle Joe with like medical gloves or like tongs. They handle him with tongs. You know what tongs are, Kat?
Yes, I know what tongs are. Yes.
Oh, yes. They usually do.
Was that the question?
Flight attendants use them to give you a warm towel. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. All these headlines about, Biden, this cheat sheet, shows that this journalist had the questions ahead of time. I think that those are incorrect because I don't think you can call this journalism.
Yeah.
It's performance art. Because journalism is supposed to be, okay, a reporter asks a question and because they want to know the answer, and the free press is supposed to be a check on the government. That's part of the reason for the First Amendment, the main reason for the First Amendment. And, I'm glad that we know this at least. It's good information to know that he is actually answering questions that he's been given ahead of time because that's not the way things are supposed to work. And I don't think it should be. I think he should be able. I don't care how old you are, really, so much as can you handle asking questions from the press?
Yeah.
That's a huge part of the job.
Yeah. Jimmy, it reminds me of the CNN debate, remember?
When Hillary had the questions ahead of time?
Yeah, exactly.
How about
That'll never happen to us.
Yeah, no. But she did. She got the questions from a CNN reporter ahead of time. Tubin wasn't the only one with a lot of pull. Look at that. Hey, that wasn't the joke. Stick with me. Good night, everybody. I want to defend the media on one thing because I watched some of that press conference. They did ask Biden some tough questions like, what's your name? What country are we in? No, what I love what they're doing with him right now at the Daily Beast is they're pulling a Billy Madison. Do you remember in Billy Madison when the little kid pees his pants? And Adam Sandler doesn't want him to make him feel bad, so he's like, pee in your pants is cool.
Yeah.
That's what the Daily Beast is doing.
Yeah.
Having dementia is cool.
Yeah.
I dementia my pants every day. But somebody should acknowledge the singing of the South Korean president, which was pretty damn good, was it not?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Thank you. Not the. He wouldn't win the White House's Got Talent, though, because Bill Clinton once converted an intern to a humidor, which is very impressive.
I didn't expect it to go in that direction, but
It's an all skate. It's an all skate.
all right,
how did
now
you
we
not
got to
know?
move on, all right? Up next, is heartbreak a sure thing if you shack up without a ring? Cohabitation affect your marriage duration? Apparently, your marriage won't last if you shacked up in the past. New research out of the University of Denver, they have them there, claims that couples who move in together before getting engaged or married are more likely to get divorced. Turns out 34% of couples who shacked up before getting hitched split up. But for couples who cohabitated after they tied the knot, that number is only 23%. That's because the remaining spouses were murdered. By the way, tying the knot doesn't make marriage sound fun. I mean, think about what knots are used for. Of course, researchers point out that this runs counter to what many people think. That living together first gives couples a chance to road test a relationship before making a lifelong commitment, and also build up an immunity to their partner's farts. But once we got an audience of farters. But one psychologist says there's virtually no evidence to support this belief. And to boost chances of marital success, it's best to have a clearly stated plan to get married before moving in together. Assuming, of course, you're not moving in with a sociopath. And if that proves too difficult, I have two words that have saved many relationships: separate bathrooms. Right?
Yeah.
My marriage, hers is off in the bedroom, and mine's at Port Authority. Jimmy, Jim, you're divorced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys live together before
We
you?
did.
Yes.
I'm all for one.
Yeah.
We lived together before we got married, and then it didn't work out. So, according to this survey, and I'm a statistic, so it wasn't my fault.
Yes, exactly.
So, I always thought it was me because I was a jerk, but I feel better now.
I never looked at it that way. Statistics really let you off the hook.
Yeah, they really do. And it's like, I mean, do people that are living together go, all right, you know what, this kind of sucks, but let's get married? A lot of people move in for financial reasons. I moved in with a girlfriend one time, so we wanted to split the rent. We couldn't afford it. But I didn't know it was going to work out. It was the first time I was going to live with a girl, so I only brought like 3 change of clothes up. For like the first week, I go, I don't want to lug all this stuff all the way up here and move it in and out. I don't know if this thing's going to work out. And then, with the one bathroom, I went to the gas station for like the first month down the road to go to the bathroom.
That's people don't understand how hard that is.
In a little small apartment with one bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. If it's right by the bed, there's nothing that will kill romance faster than Indian food. True.
I mean, how many courtesy flushes can you do?
Exactly. Exactly. Kat, you didn't live together with your husband, did you? I can't remember.
Do you ever listen to me when I talk?
I'm trying to remember.
We moved in together after 4 months.
That's right.
Which was way too soon, right? But actually, we are going to be married 2 years on Monday.
Wow.
That's a
I know.
coincidence because I moved in 4 months with my ex, and our marriage is over in 2.5 years. We'll see what happens in 6 months.
Yeah.
I think it's going okay. We do have separate bathrooms, though.
Oh, that's good.
So there's one bathroom that's the Frischer bathroom, which is his, and then there's the timpf bathroom, which is mine and Sheen's bathroom.
That's where your cat goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, his litter box is in there. Sometimes he goes in his litter box, he sits there, he watches me take a bath. Oh, that's too gross for you?
No, we were expecting to say that you also use the litter box.
No, and honestly, I think we also, before we got married, was chapter 5. So it's like at that point, nothing's gross anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You get past that, you get past anything.
She's referring to her book, which you'll have to read to find out what happened in chapter 5, which happened before they got married, and they still got married.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, imagine when you're leading up to a wedding and that happens. A medical emergency. My goodness, it's before, they say until sickness and health, but not before you're married.
You're right,
Just
I know.
haul ass. Right, Jimmy?
Hey.
Jimmy, are you still married?
My wife and I moved in a year before we got married, and we are married 16 years.
Wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, don't clap. We're not happy. Stop it. Whoa, stop it. No, I am in an awkward spot. Let me tell you this story really quick, because we're married 16 years. The last 3 times we went to Stop and Shop, we ran into my high school girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Weird. It's going to change. She's going to
Is
graduate.
she a bagger?
But it's the second time we did. Let me tell you why this happens, just so you get it. The reason people who move in together first break up sooner is because all the stuff you would fight over in a marriage happens sooner, okay? What I mean by that is when you're married, you have bills to share. You have to decorate. You have utilities. You have stuff that goes wrong around the house. When you're not living together and you're just dating, it's like, what do you want to eat and where are we? You know what I mean? And it's just a party, okay?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Seriously, when you're dating, life is a theme park, okay?
Right.
All fun, cotton candy, crazy stories. When you're married, it's a theme park, but all the good rides are closed.
Oh.
You know?
That is terrible. I disagree, Katie.
Love you, Jenny.
It just gets better, right, Katie?
I disagree. I think marriage is really fun.
Yeah, but
And I love the theme park of marriage. It's wonderful.
Yeah, but you know what? You like the rides that the guys don't like.
Well, the girls don't. The guys do.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad, don't
Yeah.
watch this.
They know. They're in bed.
How do you think I feel?
So do you want me to move on? .org?
Possibly.
All right. Because we got a lot of stuff. I don't want to embarrass you anymore, basket of eggs. Coming up, our guest.
我方禁用英雄。请选择使用英雄。
心情不好的时候，就来和克里希聊聊天吧。
英雄。
爬到哪？爬回星耀2了。爬回星耀2。
敌方选择英雄。我方选择英雄。敌方选择英雄。
嗯。